All right, guys, so today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be working on some problems that we have to basically figure out, is it greater than, is it less than, or is it equal to? And you all know from when you were in kindergarten and first grade and learning about the greater than and less than signs that Alice the alligator always wanted to eat the bigger number. So that's what we're going to kind of work on today is we're looking for that bigger number. And in number one, what they want you to do is they want you to put it into a place value chart. Honestly, I would probably always put your numbers in a place value chart just to kind of check your answers to make sure that you are correct. So I'm going to go ahead and put this number 34 and 223 thousandths into my place value chart. And then I'm also going to do the same thing for this one, which is 34 and 232 thousandths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these numbers, and one way you could do this is you could kind of line up each of the place values. Well, these two are equal, these two are equal, these are equal, but then this is where I have my different number, and which one would be bigger? Well, that 3 is going to be bigger, so I know that that last number is going to be, a bigger number. So I've got 34 and 223 thousandths is less than 34 and 232 thousandths. One other way you could look at this is you could look at this as a whole number, 223 or 232. Which one of those two would be bigger? Well, this one would be bigger. This is a better example of how you can see it. So I'm going to put 8 tenths here, and then I'm going to put 706 thousandths right here, okay? I already know by looking at that tenths that that 8 is going to be bigger. So I've got 8 tenths is greater than 706 thousandths. If you're kind of confused with this, remember you can add zeros and they don't change that value. So right now if you look at this, I have 800 and then I've got 706. So which one would be bigger? That 800 would be bigger. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do is I want you guys to be able to look at these problems and figure out which one is going to be greater than, less than, or equal to. And I am going to, off on my chart over here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to already write these in my place value chart, and then we can kind of look at them and decide. So if I have 16 and 3 tenths and 16 and 4 tenths, here it is on my place value chart. Well, look at that, 16 and 3 tenths, 16 and 4 tenths. Well, the 1s are equal, the 6s are equal, but when I get to the tenths column, that 4 is going to be that bigger number. So I can tell you that 4 and, this will kind of get out of fuzzy. There we go. That 16 and 3 tenths is less than 16 and 4 tenths. So here is where you guys have to remember from yesterday's lesson, I've got a decimal, but then I also have a fraction. So this says 83 hundredths, and this one says 83 hundredths. And if you're listening, you could probably already say, well, those are equal. And when I put them on a place value chart, look at that. They are equal. So I'm going to go ahead and write that this is equal to. Okay. Let's take a look at the next one, and remember off screen I am writing this on the place value chart so you can see it. So I have 205 thousandths. That was in the fraction form, and then over here I have 205 thousandths again. And look at that. That is equal to again. So we're going to go ahead and put equal to. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at this next one. On letter D, I have 95 and 580 thousandths. And then over here, I have 95 and 58 hundredths. Okay. Well, if I take a look at this chart, they kind of look all the same. And I have to come to this thousandths column. Because I have nothing here, I can put that 0. So what are they again? They're equal, guys. That is right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put equal here. So letter E, I have 9 and 1 tenths. So I've got 9 and 1 tenths. Or I have 9 and 99 thousandths. So when I put it onto this place value chart, you could probably already notice, well, that 1 is going to be greater. But if I were to add those zeros in there, if you look at this, I have 100 or I have 99. So which one is going to be bigger? That 100. So we are going to write that 9 1/10 is greater than 9 99 thousandths. Okay. Now this is where this one's going to kind of get a little tricky. So I've got 8 3/10, but then over here it says I have 83 tenths. Okay, well, it's got that tenths. Well, you already know that if you hear that tenths, that 3 should be in that tenths column. And then, of course, you would just fill that 8 in ahead of it. So, guys, what can you notice there? That's right. Those are equal. So we're going to go ahead and say they are equal to. Okay. So now I've got 5 8/10. So I'm going to write that. I've got 5 8/10. Okay. But if I look at this next one, it says I have 58 hundredths. So 58 hundredths. So that 8, so it's 58. That 8 is going to be ending in my hundredths column. So the 5 has to go before that. And let's take a look at this. Which number is bigger? Okay. That 5 is going to be bigger. The 5 8/10 is bigger because I have a whole number. On that 58 hundredths, I don't have a whole number. So I already know that this is going to be greater than 58 hundredths. On the next video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the back side.